Welcome back to Daytime Live. Now, a brand new show airs on TVJ this Saturday, September 4, and it begins at 6:30 p.m. Now, the name of the show is GenZed. That's it, GenZed, and it's a brand new space for youth to share their thoughts on the ups and downs of young adulthood in Jamaica. Now, joining us today are the hosts, Chad Rattray and Daniel Mullings, who are here to talk to us about the show, as well as have a chat to us about young adult issues. Welcome, guys.
Welcome, Chad. Welcome, Daniel.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. So first of all, how are you guys doing with going through this pandemic and experiencing all of the lockdowns and stuff? Like, how are you?
To be honest, you have to take it one day at a time. Of course, there are going to be challenging days, especially, we're seeing that need for mental health issues and so on to be addressed during this pandemic with the, more social isolation, reduction of activities that would, bring you joy and some entertainment, etc. Really and truly, you have to take it one day at a time.
Yeah, come here alone,
family. Boy, I tell you, the lockdown, kind of have us away as relates, so as what Daniel said, mental health and so on in terms of, being boxed in. But I've been good. I've been good, to be honest. And I've been finding creative ways of ensuring that, I keep myself active and, proactive, productive,
I came out of my house, after 2 days. First I go outside after 2 days. I'ma feel the sun go, made a sound.
Well,
I was out there just looking like a...
No, me solar power experience of I in the sun every day. I have to get sun every day. I need it. Yeah. If I get that, nothing works. So, all right. So, Daniel and Chad, give us a little bit more about what to expect from GenZed.
Well, GenZed is a brand new show. It's going to be exciting, and it's coming on television Jamaica and Power 106. So, what makes the show unique is that Craigie and Duffy is that it's both on radio and on TV. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be a show that is catered to young people. It is a show for the youth and by the youth, meaning that it is hosted and produced by young people, and also it's catered towards that niche of Generation Z or young people. So, and we're going to be tackling the ups and downs, the issues and our experiences. So yeah, I want to look forward for that.
Nice.
All right. Well, tell us just a little bit about yourselves, and you can start with the young lady, ladies before gentlemen.
Sure.
Which is her?
Sure. So my name is Daniel Mullings. I'm a finalizing student here at the University of the West Indies. I'm also the guild president, or president of the Guild of Students here. I have a love for software engineering, anything to do with technology, as well as media, film studies, the arts. Really and truly, I just, amalgate everything together. But overall, I believe in youth empowerment. I believe in creating more spaces for young people to have their voices to be heard, and not only to be talking about issues and problems, but also what are the realistic solutions that we see for our way forward. So that's a bit about me. Over to you, Chad.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. And so for me, I am a youth entrepreneur. But I've launched my first business ever, which is the CR Learning Academy. I am a youth advisor to the government, the Youth Advisory Council, and president of a youth charity organization, the Jamaica Millennium Vision for Youth.
Yeah, I like that.
What about, hey, I like movies?
No, the youths have not time for that now. A war going out, you don't see how the world go. No, man, they do the right thing.
I'm not saying that they're doing the wrong thing. I'm just, hey, I like talking to my friends.
No, but it's all good.
See what happened? You need to have your kids just like say, hey, this is what you should be like.
Well, that is why we have shows like GenZed. I can guarantee you that you definitely have 100% support from Daytime Live and the whole crew here.
Yeah.
Definitely. And your family anyway, because that is where I remember Danielle's face from. She's the intern here.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, she was here.
Awesome. And Chad was on the show as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I was on that show though, but I know he's been.
Yeah, I was talking about something related to chance. I think it was some initiative that was related to chance. I was on Daytime Live, so and we had a long conversation with Craigie T and Nisha in the TVJ courtyard. So yeah,
Yeah, it's always.
I really love the crew. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always intriguing to me to hear the views of the youths. You know, I always want to know how they're thinking and what kind of makes them tick. So right now we're going to have a chat about some issues that your Gen Z generations have had. So we're kicking off with this question. A lot of millennials and Gen Zs often internalize social media algorithms and use that to develop their offline identity. Now, the question is, how can millennials and Gen Zs healthily manage their relationships with social media?
That's a great question. In fact, we have one of the shows actually is about this overall as personal branding and how you can utilize social media to build that brand. But I think fundamentally, what young people have to remember is that social media is like an alternate space. You know, it's a portion of reality, but it's not full on reality. And so it's easy to get lost in it. But you have to remember that you're first who you are in person. You have to figure out what your key morals, key goals, and key, authentic messages are. And then you bring it into the social media space, I think it's so easy to get yourself defined by the number of likes or, the number of reshares and comments that you have on the photos, but that doesn't speak to who you are at all. You are who you are regardless of how many likes you may get on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, so Daniel, you're right. We did have an extensive episode, fleshing out this issue as it relates to how do we build our personal brands. And it's important, as what Daniel said, that we ensure that we invest in ourselves, invest in terms of ensuring that we find out what we like to do, our passions, ensuring that we build on our skills, and ensuring that we create a authentic self. So it starts with me first before I can even go on social media. And I'm one of those persons. I ensure that I build myself first, so anything that you see on my page, anything that you see on any of my platforms is about me. It's about Chadrachi, who that brand is and what I represent. So as what Daniel said, my values, what my core values are, principles. It's not about the likes, but it's about the substance as well that you bring to social media. Yeah, as what Chronic says, substance over. Yeah.
Listen, we're going to continue this conversation because, let you guys go anywhere because me and Craig need to learn.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I think the producer have a bug in my house because I had this conversation with my 16-year-old son this morning. So about reality-based platforms as opposed to reality and balancing them and knowing where you really live, if you live over there, so if you're actually living in the real world. So it's interesting. But we'll be right back and we're going to talk more to the host of TVJ's GenZed when we're forward. We'll soon come back. Welcome back to Daytime Live. Now we're still here with the host of TVJ's new show, GenZed, and we're continuing the conversation, of course. So the next question is a double-barrel question, but on a sharp. So I can manage these things.
They're studied.
So the question is, what is cancel culture? And then the second part of the question is, what is your take on cancel culture? Because millennials and Gen Zs really kind of created it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so cancel culture means that someone does one thing that is publicly perceived to be negative or incorrect, and then everyone just, I don't want to use about the same word, but cancels them in their sense of saying, we're not going to listen to you anymore. That's the end of the line for you. Some persons, big celebrity or local celebrities rather, have been canceled by that sometimes. And sometimes it takes a few months maybe to get back to where you were in terms of social media standing. The second part of the question with respect to do I agree with it? I don't, because I think persons evolve over time. I think people always make mistakes. I think it's easy to cancel somebody over one decision or one action, but personally, I give people second chances or third chances. And so I believe persons can evolve. You can make a mistake and you can call persons out on it and say, yo, this was wrong, but also give them space to grow and learn from it and become better.
Chad, you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah, man.
My thing is,
right.
You can't cancel people. You cancel people.
Exactly.
Is these things that mash up people's head? You can't cancel
It's the perception of reality. It's not the reality itself. was the perception and the social media space? Because
That's a big thing as it relates to our culture, especially in Jamaica, where, you know, sometimes you're cancelled.
Chad.
Hello?
Chad, we
you're
don't know nothing why you Zoom cancel you a while ago.
Boy, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
The line space calling now, man.
See, it's happening again.
No, Chad.
Right, but
you have an unpopular opinion,
but even with this cancel culture operating within it is dangerous, because you have things that them dig up from 10, 15 years before, and they are quote unquote cancelled in the now. You know, when the persons have passed that and evolved and grown. And
what I've come to realize in my short period of time on this earth is that once you are saying the things that you believe in, there are times when 1 million people will agree with you, and there are times when one person will agree with you. But you should not let that affect how you perceive things, or you should not let that sway you, if you understand what I'm saying. Right. Of course, you should examine your standpoint, because there are times when you can be wrong, and you should change if you find yourself wrong. But you shouldn't leave it up to people to decide your direction.
You know, let's jump into the next question, because I want to get your views on this. Now, how can we work on the difficulties of understanding the way of life between different generations?
Yeah, I mean, and everybody hear me, I hope I'm back now. Yeah. But there's a difference in generation, and sometimes we have what is called the generation gap, where there's, we all have different cultures, you know, the conflict that usually arises between the millennials and the Gen Z and all the other generations. But intergenerational culture is important. And so I'll start there first. One, it is important that we continue our culture. Jamaica has a rich brand of music, sports, the arts, and we have so much in terms of our cultural assets, and that must be protected. But at the same time, you know, as generations go by, society evolves and new forms of culture emerge. So I've always been like, it shouldn't be focused on just cultural retention, retaining the culture, but we must also focus on cultural renewal, fashioning those old, you know, practices from before with new practices, recognizing technology, recognizing that, you know, the world has advanced, and continuing to ensure that, you know, our culture moves in that direction.
Yeah, just to add in, Chad, you know, I think fundamentally it comes back to conversations, and I'm a big, you know, pusher for just having conversations, not only with respect to this specific topic, but generally speaking as well. I think, you know, older generations can be speaking with younger generations. Sometimes we just have these preconceived biases about each other, or assuming that, boy, them not gonna understand what I'm talking about, or so on. And so I think just the power and the art of conversation and communication is so important in bridging that generational gap.
That is why I love it. And that's why, by extension, I love the show. Because these things, that is the real thing. I know people that are so actively conversing with the phones and with the whatever platform they're on, or whatever they're using, whether it's phone, tablet, laptop,
Devices,
whatever.
right.
And when you talk to them, they cannot carry a conversation at all. They don't know how to interact. Yeah. Even about the exact same topics that they were talking about online, they don't have a clue. They don't really know these things. They retweet facts and they don't really know. It's crazy. So I'm so happy that you said that. The art of conversation is extremely important. Tell us again what time and where to tune in and how to tune into GenZed.
So you can tune in to GenZed on Power 106 at 9 a.m. on Saturdays, and also on Television Jamaica at 6:30 p.m. So it's Saturdays, Power 106, 9 a.m. and on Television Jamaica at 6:30 p.m. So guys, tune in.
Same Saturday? The same Saturday?
Same Saturday, yeah, man.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. You must come back, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I think we should check in. I say we'll check in, like, you know, later on.
Yeah.
You know, give them a couple of weeks. I say, hey, how is it going?
No, man. Well,
I think we must have like a crossover episode. So have you guys on set?
Yes.
See that?
All right,
and the child shall lead them.
And
excellent.
And
excellent idea.
And you and him already have the locks.
Cancel. On that note,
thank you guys.
Daytime Live will be right back.